Okay. Hey guys, it's Danielle. Sorry I've been MIA. It's been a crazy couple months. I swear, my life is just like one big ball of chaos. Anyways, I've had this video super requested, and I'm so sorry it's taken so long to film it, but we're going to talk about schools, off base versus on base, and what I think about them both and why I chose to go off base. So if you live on base, honestly I'd probably put my daughter in on base school. It's just more convenient, it's right there, it's close by, you know. But we live off base and we live closer to Mildenhall. So where we live, if I wanted to put my daughter on base, I would have had to, she would have taken the bus all the way to Feltwell, which is way farther than Lake and Heath, just for our elementary school because of where we are in the catchment area. But so that was one of the cons for me, was where we live versus where she would go to school. And then also they can start at 4, so reception or early years is what they call it. That starts at 4 years old, and that would be basically kindergarten for us. And then when they turn 5, they start year 1, which for them is their first grade, but it's the United States is kindergarten. So British schools are a year ahead, and I really liked that too. I mean, why not give my kid a head start? She's the type of child that needs to be in school and needs to be like learning something and being pushed. She just needs that interaction with other people. So anyways, she just finished reception and started year 1 in September, and she already knows how to read. Like, she's getting spelling tests and books that she has to read each week, which is pretty incredible to me. So that was another plus side for me to put her off base, was they're ahead. They're ahead in their schooling. Their meals are better off base. Homemade, like good meals like roasts and I can't even think what else. Pastas, like just, I don't know, better food, not cold lunches. They're hot lunches. Another thing with on base schools is when they are in kindergarten, they still take naps. And I mean, some kids definitely need naps still at that age. I know that if my daughter is not in school and she's home, she's taking a nap. She needs it. You know, when she's in school, she doesn't need it. She needs to be engaged in something, and she needs to be learning something. So I don't know, just overall I think British schools are just ahead in the learning curve. That is one thing with off-base schools that kind of is a pain, is you have to drive, you drive them. There's no busing. There kind of is, but I'll get to that. But for the most part, if you're going to the school off base that's in your catchment, there's no busing. So you take them, you drive them, or you walk them. And if you're driving them, parking, it's not like a big parking lot. Like, there's no parking lots here in England. I mean, Sainsbury has them, but that's about it. If I just had my 5-year-old, that wouldn't be an issue. But taking my little one, putting her into the car in the morning, driving there, finding a parking spot, getting her out, putting her either in the baby carrier or in the stroller, and then maneuvering my way through everybody. I mean, it's like a 35-minute to an hour like ordeal from leaving the house to getting back to the house every day. And so that's just the only downside that I don't like. I mean, what are you gonna do? So that's the only thing, that downside that I would have to say about her school. But getting back to the point of busing, if your child, so when we first moved here, we applied for school for her, and the school closest to us in our catchment was full. So they offer you, like, basically you give them your first, second, and third choice schooling, and they'll provide you if that school closest to you isn't available. And they did that, and so we got a school that wasn't in our catchment, so it was more than 2 miles away. The closest school to you would be fewer than 2 miles away, and then this one is farther than 2 miles away. So the stipulation is that if your child is going to a school that is more than 2 miles away from you, the county will provide busing. And when I say busing, it's not a school bus, it's like a 9-seater van, and then this year my daughter's in like a 3rd row SUV. They outsource, so the county, they outsource their transportation to basically like taxi companies. But coordinating the transportation is a pain in the ass, to say it nicely. You apply for school transport, you submit their photo for their bus pass, then they never find it, they don't have it, you have to reapply. So that's kind of frustrating. Once it's set up, it's solid, it's good to go because you communicate with that specific driver. You don't have to call the county. That is my only thing that frustrates me about off-base schooling. But like I said, it's not the school itself, it's like the county and them distributing or like outsourcing to that company. Off-base schools, you wear uniforms. On-base schools, you wear your own clothes. So that's like a personal preference, you know. I prefer the uniforms. They're not expensive. Like a cardigan is like £5. A shirt is like £3. It's really not a lot. And if they ruin them, I mean, you only need 5 uniforms. One thing I really love about her school off base, and like I said, she's never gone on base, so I don't know how this school is or how this school, the schools on base operate. I don't know. My daughter has personally never been in an on base school. I don't know really what to reference, but in my opinion, I really liked the off base school, the British schools, better because they, like, every person, I mean, like, the teacher knows your child. The secretary, you call and you just say, hi, I'm calling about Elena, and they automatically know what class she's in, how old she is. Like, they really take the time to know each individual child. I had never met her teacher until the beginning of this school year, and as I walked in and to bring Elena to her teacher, she goes, hi Elena, how are you? Da 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 da. Your friend so-and-so isn't here yet, but your other friend is sitting over there if you want to go sit with her. So not only did she like remember my daughter by her face and her name, she knew who her best friends were from the year before. It's just like, it's encouraging, you know, that makes, especially with little kids, like, to feel comfortable. I don't know how to explain it, but I really liked that. So the holidays are different, which I think has its pros and cons. I really like the British vacations because they get 1 week off like every 2 months, and then their summers are only 6 weeks instead of like 3 months, so they don't really forget much. It's a shorter summer. You don't go insane having your kids for that long and they don't forget what they're learning because they have those breaks in between, which I prefer. But the downside to that is if you want a vacation, most of Europe is on that schedule. So like, we're going on vacation in October when she has that week off. Everything's going to be more expensive because obviously the airlines and the hotels know that it's, you know, half term, so it's gonna be more expensive. So if you were to travel on American holidays, it's a little cheaper. And then obviously your kids will have off the same holidays as your husband, which is nice too. I don't really know what else to say. On base is just like basic schools that we've all known in America. Off base is different, but I really like it. The only complaint I had was the busing, but like I said, that's through the county, not through the school. The actual school itself, I have not a single complaint. No, not a single complaint. I love it. Another thing too is, like, I think it depends on your child's age of if you want them on base or off base. So like, if my daughter was in high school, I'd put her on base because at that point they're learning different things and they have to like take certain tests to be able to graduate and get their diploma. And when things start getting important with your schooling, like transcripts and all that, on base is probably just easier in that sense. But off base when they're younger, I think is better because they get a head start. I think I've covered almost everything. I don't know. I know this video is all over the place. But if you have any other specific questions that I didn't cover, comment down below and I'll try to answer those as well. So again, sorry it took me so long to film this video. My life has been absolutely chaotic. I was so sick for 2 months straight. I don't even know what happened to me. Anyways, I've been talking forever, so I'm gonna go and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye. Um, 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 but